It's a gloomy Friday the 13th here at Site B, and only 158 days to Halloween. So it's time to take a look at the tabletop role-playing game crowdfunding projects that are coming to an end while using our spooky voice. Spooky, 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 spooky. Friday the 13th. Jason? Oh, wait, that's Michael Myers, not Jason. Hey, kids keep dying in Crystal Lake. Maybe we should stop going to Crystal Lake. Anyways, let's see what's coming to an end in the land of crowdfunding, and we'll use spooky voice. I know a certain guy who lives in a box who's really excited about this one. His name is, Jeff. Jeff Gainsbox is very excited about Dragonbane Magic. Dragonbane is his baby. So this is from Free League Publishing. It's Arknad, which I guess is the world of Dragonbane, and the Book of Magic for Free League's Dragonbane RPG, as opposed to Dave's Laserdisc Free League's RPG Dragonbane. See, this will be available through June 26th, so about 10 more days. It's 698 whatever money they use in Free League land for the PDF and print version of the books. In American money, I think that's about $70. It's an expansion to the world of Dragonbane, the award-winning world that they created. It's their fantasy system. Arknad is a city, and Book of Magic has a bunch of new spells and magic and classes and schools and all the other things to add more spells and stuff. You know what we love Dragonbane? Because you can play a duck. Kobold released Tales of the Valiant Players Guide 2, new powers for 5e and TOV players. Thank you, Kobold, for continuing to support 5th edition the way it's meant to be, as opposed to whatever 2024 D&D is. So if you're a fan of 5th edition and want to continue playing 5th edition based more or less around 2014, this is the book to do it within, and continuing to support Kobold and their Tales from the Valiant universe. $60 for PDF and print version. It's more stuff for that game. So new classes, new feats, new spells, new backgrounds, new thingies, new board thingies, different thingies, ways to look at thingies, alternate new rules for thingies, just what these books do. Do you need this book? Probably not. Ooh, I like the cover. This is from Roll and Play Press. This is City of Black Rose for 5e and Daggerheart horror setting. A 5e horror setting for 2 games that are trying to not be scary. Now, we know that Matt Mercer is doing the Umbra Souls-like dark gritty thing with using the Daggerheart rules, and so far it's being well received. So I guess you could kit bash Daggerheart into be slightly more scary than it is, but 5th edition, 2024 5th edition, and trying to make 2025 5th edition a horror game? How about no? How about instead you just find a different system that's designed to emulate horror instead of trying to kit bash, square peg, round hole horror into 2025 Dungeons & Dragons, which is specifically designed not to be horror. And if you want to use a 5e system that lets you do this, don't be D&D. Now, I know saying, hey, this is for Dungeons & Dragons is you're hoping it'll get you more sales, right? Because if you just say the magic words, Daggerheart and D&D, even though they are drastically different systems, you're attracting people to your game, right? So I get that, right? But I think there's other open source 5e systems you can use without saying Dungeons & Dragons. Anyways, now that I've made total fun out of this and make these people feel miserable, I apologize to Roll and Play Press, and I wish them risk them all the success in the world in selling this game. $35 shipping and handling. PDF and print version of the book gets you the gothic horror crime setting inspired by Great Gatsby, Sin City, and Nosferatu. It comes sort of based upon the City of Black Road podcast by 3 Black Halflings. It's a 140-page system-neutral setting book for fantasy campaigns that want to mix in the Prohibition era of America into their atmosphere. But it also has... This is very confusing. So it's system neutral, but it's also... It's kind of been designed with D&D and Daggerheart, which are 2 drastically different systems, but it's also system neutral. It's trying to introduce pre-Prohibition era America with gaslamp Victorian fantasy, gas lamp and the gas things, the gas mask, gas lamp, yeah. Great Gatsby, okay. Sin City. I guess they were about the same time period. Nosferatu, not the same time period. Okay, and the Arcane thing from Netflix, which is based upon League of Legends. Art Deco, noir, gothic horror, crime setting, Prohibition era for Dungeons and Dragons, a Hollywood medieval fantasy game. Well, this is either going to succeed because it's just so wonderfully bizarre, or it's going to fail miserably because it's so wonderfully bizarre. Either way, I wish them all the luck in the world. I mean, is there a market for gas lamp, Prohibition era America, gothic horror fantasy? From Vortex Verlag, Verlag, we have Synsimia Obscura, setting guide and modular adventure. Synsimia, SERENISSIMA Obscura. This is for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition and Arch Magica. Again, 2 systems that are completely different. $20 for the PDF of this book. It's a setting guide adventure all about magical Renaissance Venice from around 1507. 400 pages too, is entitled to be system neutral, but it all contains universal stat blocks for D20. And apparently also stat blocks for Ars Magica, which is completely different than 5e. It's got 60 monsters, 150 NPCs, outstanding artwork, campaign building for a setting guide for a magical Renaissance Venice 1507 dark spooky thingy. Okay. Is that going to be a new thing to make your games now Dungeons and Dragons and whatever other system, even if those systems have absolutely nothing in common? Maybe I should do that. Approved for the use with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition and Shadowdark and another system that doesn't use D20s and D6 Star Wars. Yeah, my games are all D6 Star Wars, even though I'm using a D20 system that has nothing to do with D6 Star Wars. Anyways, we have Echoes of the Veil. I should really get off my snarky soapbox before somebody comes after me. Riviera Rebella brings us Echoes of Veil, cinematic cyberpunk RPG hack for CBR plus PNK. It's based upon the Forged in the Dark system. It's $65 for the PDF and print version of the book. It's Forged in the Dark cyberpunk setting, minimalist type stuff. It's a pamphlet, doesn't look like a pamphlet. Expands upon the game with a 100-page book. It provides more detailed artwork and weird magic vibe for the world of CRB PNK. So that's cyberpunk, Shadow Forged in the Dark cyberpunk. Sword Compass Creation brings us the Devoured Labyrinth for Shadowdark, the role-playing game. $60. Gives you PDF and print version of the book. It's a 40-page adventure with 2 dungeons in it. book starts with 0-level gauntlet and stringing the campaigns together all the way up to a 10th level adventure. And it has tarot side cards with ancestry and class information to help new characters and NPCs stuff. I love the cards. I do love the cards. So this is a big mega adventure for Shadowdark. Starts with a 0-level funnel and goes all the way up to 10th level, assuming you survive the 0-level funnel. $60. And that's it. All right, let's see what stands out to me this week without me being a snark. Obviously this, because I love Free League, even though they're way too expensive. I really like Dragonbane. It's definitely on my list of games I'd like to play. And I have friends who like it, so we're very excited about that. Wildlife, this is one of the things where, like, do I feel it's necessary? Not really. But on the other hand, I really want people to know that you do not have to go to Wizards of the Coast and deal with their nonsense to continue to play 5e. Koboldpress is doing the job just as well, if not better, than what is going on in this picture? AI? Because she's got a lamp hanging from her way too long and thin fingers. Her fingers look like plants. And look at that wrist. That's AI. I'm gonna say AI. Anyways, yeah. Something. Tales to the Valiant. 5e. Something. I think weren't we angry at 3 black halflings at one point in time for some reason? But then we were also like, yeah, you guys are doing really awesome. So, oh yeah, they were the ones that interviewed Kyle when he made the white guys can't leave the hobby fast enough statement. That was 3 black halflings, or right during or after his interview. So yeah, we do want to support these guys. They're awesome. Such a kitchen sink idea that it'll either be unbelievably awesome or a disaster. I wish them all the luck. I hope it succeeds. Again, D&D and Ars Magica, 2 completely separate games, but that's okay because it's actually a generic system neutral game. We just use those words. So I don't know. Apparently this is a thing and people really like this, so I'll say sure. And because it's Shadowdark, we want to support Shadowdark. $60 does seem a little pricey for a 40-page adventure path, but I think with our Shadowdark, most of that money is going to the cover and the art, which I'm not a fan of. I mean, I appreciate what you're trying to do with the cover and the art, and you're trying to keep the art style consistent and the cover is consistent, and you're all using the same printer, so they all look exactly the same. But on the other hand, it's just you're paying a lot of extra money for this art and this style that I don't know is necessary. That said, of course, it's Shadowdark. I want to support Shadowdark and anything that Shadowdark does. So yes, definitely want to support that. I hear good things about SCYBR Sure, why not? No, I want these guys to succeed. It's such a bizarre idea. I say yes, yes, and 100% my recommendation for the week. But I'm just one spooky voice in the spooky Friday the 13th wilderness. Make up your own mind. Check out the links down below, and if there's a Kickstarter I forgot, please DM me, and I'll maybe remember to post it or not. Till next time, it's Friday the 13th. So stay safe out there. Spooky, 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 spooky.